Okay, all right. Now I didn't want to do this, but like I feel like we really have to address something. We really have to get to the bottom of something, okay?
Okay.
All right. Someone, I'm not pointing fingers. Someone on the last podcast started eating almonds in the middle of the record, and no one's in trouble, but I would just like whoever did it to fess up so we avoid that happening in the future. I think it upset some people.
The only nuts I eat are pistachios, so it couldn't have been me.
That's the
Um,
sorry.
the only nuts that I eat are testicles and balls. So, like, it wasn't me.
That means Sherman Potato Smith.
I've never even touched an almond. It was not me. I
Must
definitely
have been Virgil.
Yeah.
I definitely don't keep a bag of smokehouse almonds in my pantry at most times for snacking, and I definitely didn't get peckish last podcast, and I definitely didn't make large chunks of it unlistenable for people with misophonia without realizing. Not me. So I'd really appreciate if one of you would just like be mature and like fess up to it.
You're listening to the podcast, and it's like, yeah, no, I actually think this is really great. One of the reasons is.
That's what it was. So it was like that. But I mean, whoever was eating the almonds was really nervous about making a lot of noise. So it kind of sounds like the Family Guy gag where Peter Griffin eats the chips during the Holocaust.
Yeah, that's the same thing. This podcast, in that metaphor, is the Holocaust.
No,
There's the almonds chips.
There's a Family Guy clip where Peter is like in the Anne Frank house and the Nazis burst in and they're all hiding in the fucking attic and you just hear a big crunch and he's like nervously eating a bag of chips.
So our audience is the Gestapo, is what you're saying. Because you were trying to hide it from them, lest they find us.
Look, like I said, I'm not pointing fingers. But, you know, you can't trust YouTube comment sections these days. It wouldn't surprise... If they listen to this shit, it wouldn't surprise me. Rev up those fryers and fill those champagne glasses to the tippy top. It's West Coast Toast and Roast with Tommy, Will, and Dav. Welcome back to West Coast Toast and Roast. I had my fill of almonds before we hit record, so there's no concern for crunching during the record. Not that I did it last time, to be clear. I'm Tommy.
You know what? I'm craving a salty, crunchy snack, and I'm Will.
I'm also craving something, and that's a big old juicy glass of American insulin, and I'm Dev.
Will's gonna get out those pistachios. Will just has to be different. So the only nut Will likes is pistachios, because it just has to be a contrarian thing.
Yeah.
You not like pistachios?
I like pistachios, but I think that's like a little psychotic. You don't even like a peanut?
No, I like peanuts, but like the only ones that I like actually eat are pistachios.
So like a pistachio is the only one you eat like whole, but you don't like make a fuss over them otherwise.
Yeah, no, pistachios are the only ones that I like seek out. And plus, they're, at least I mean, they probably sell this everywhere, but there's like seasoned salt flavored pistachios, which are really good.
I do like.
Yeah, you can get them in all sorts of flavors.
Yeah. Just like you can get almonds in all sorts of flavors to eat when the microphone's not running. I know better than that.
Yeah, and pistachio ice cream is really good too.
I love pistachio ice cream. Fucking, I think the first experience I had with pistachio was, and I'm sure people in the comments would probably know, it's this ice cream parlor in Florida that serves you, I think, 13 scoops in a giant kitchen sink for a bunch of people to share. And that was like, probably to this day, my favorite memory involving ice cream.
Yeah.
That was probably Jello pudding, honestly.
Go back to Florida. It's a lovely place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great. Wonderful, wonderful state. We should definitely go there. And just stay forever.
Anywho, speaking of Florida, I don't know. We've got 3 trailers to decree life or death to. The first of which is Sasquatch Sunset. This just premiered at, I think it was Sundance earlier this year, last month. And all of the critics I follow on, and you look at the letterboxed description, and all it says is the life of a singular family. And you look at, and I saw tweets come in from all the critics I follow on all the social medias, and they were just like, this movie is all kinds of pissing and shitting and coming. But it also made me cry. So I think on principle, I have to give it life. This stars Jesse Eisenberg and Riley Keough, though you wouldn't know it because they are Sasquatches, and they be poopin'. What did you both think?
It seems like, I know this is like very specific, but it kind of seems like, and which is weird because this movie is, written by a dude, but it just seems like a local like improv theater was like, guys, what if we did a whole play without talking? And it just like I'm sure it's very artistic, but I like just based off the trailer, if I didn't know what it was, I probably wouldn't see it. So I am going to give this a death.
It's not the first film without dialogue.
I don't know about that.
Really?
Has there really never been another film without dialogue? Wasn't there like a gimmick for that for a movie that came out like last year?
I'm saying it's not the first film without dialogue.
You were probably cut off or something.
Oh, sorry.
No, yeah, I think you got a point there, Will. It was probably put together by an improv theater, and a bunch of people had a bunch of leftover Sasquatch outfits from their show of Les Miserables or something. So I can definitely see how that happened. But I'm also going to give this a death, because as much as I appreciate the concept being as wacky and weird as it is, it still looks like it's just going to be not very fun to watch. I don't know. It's a concept that I don't think can be carried on into like a theatrical runtime. Like, it'd be funny if it was like half an hour or something. But just like the gimmick of, oh, that's Jesse Eisenberg under all that Red Dead Redemption Sasquatch makeup is not really going to do it for me for that long. So that's my verdict.
Are there Sasquatches in Red Dead Redemption?
In Undead Nightmare, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You hunt a shitload of them. You basically hunt them into extinction, and the last one, like, cries his eyes out in front of you and makes you feel guilty.
What the
So
hell?
we've already seen the movie now.
I think you're both being a bit dismissive, because I was won over the second they cut to those Sasquatches just, like, smashing into each other. But, that's just me. Man of culture over here.
A lot of places you can watch Sasquatches smashing on the internet, man.
True. Your ideas intrigue me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter. That takes us to the game trailer of the month, Ufouria 2. This, I did not realize, is apparently a sequel to something on, like, the NES that was, like, only in Japan years and years ago, and someone was just passionate enough to make it again. And, what I like is that it kind of seems like it's bringing back, like, Yoshi's Story aesthetics, where everything looks really felt, and I think it looks better than, like, a modern crafted Yoshi game, even though I kind of like those games. It looks just more feasible and a lot more, like, crayon-y, and looks like it's all made out of Hobby Lobby stuff, and I will also give this a life.
Like, the first bits I was watching of it, I was like, oh, this is like a children's game. But then, like, it got a bit, like, further into it, and I'm gonna say I'm intrigued. I'm gonna give this one a life. It's made me want to try it, so therefore, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm also going to give this a life, because the art style does kind of jump out at me. It looks very interesting, the way that it's made, and I think it looks like it could be a fun time, and I think I do have to give it bonus points for being the first video game called Ufouria that does not involve a plastic tube turning multiple girls into a human centipede of shit farm. So
Why
that's
can't
my
Are
verdict
you
on
talking about Sasquatch Sunset again?
that.
Dav? Why can't you ever just answer one of these like normally? Why do you always leave me with a question? Like, keep doing it. Objectively, it's good podcasting, but also, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Just don't look up Euphoria visual novel or the hentai that's based on it, and you'll be fine.
I thought I'd be alone on this one. I thought this would be another one where I'm keeping it on life support, but turns out cute little creatures can win anybody over. So, yeah, I can't wait to try this out someday.
And a lack of stat fetishism.
Yeah.
Third trailer is The Sympathizer by the new Park. It is by Park Chan-wook, director of such works as Old Boy and Lady Vengeance and a lot of other good films that I've watched recently for podcast homework, but also because they're good. This looks pretty fucking cool. It's my understanding it's all about, it's kind of a Red Scare show, trying to figure out who's a communist sympathizer from the point of view of a Korean main character. Robert Downey Jr. is there. It's kind of hard to tell if it's like he plays multiple characters or like if it's a disguise thing or what the deal is. But it looks like
it's a disguise thing.
Okay,
because he's like in the CIA.
Right. Okay,
He's a
that makes
spy.
sense. Right. That was like my first inkling, but I kind of wasn't sure. And it's only made by, one of the most renowned directors ever. So, I think I'm going to give this a life. It looks neat.
This is an easy life. It just looks very cool. I agree what you said, Tommy, that it's like, I mean, obviously it's got a very esteemed director with it, and I think that the little preview we got doesn't quite give away everything, which is nice. So it's definitely, I feel like, one of those shows, because like I'm not usually one for grounded, like super grounded shows, but this kind of seems like a good balance.
I fully agree. I mean, if anything else, I love Park Chan-wook, and I fucking love Old Boy. It's one of my favorite movies ever, so I kind of just like trust whatever this guy's gonna do.
An Old Boy. You said you were looking for that for the Blu-ray of it?
There's a 4K release out, but it's like $70.
Right.
I want to hold off a bit until it goes to hopefully a reasonable price. But I am worried that it'll just like sell out and never get restocked, and I'll miss my opportunity. But who knows?
I'm sure I could see that as something some like nerd cabal is going to hold hostage for like $1,000 after it goes out of stock.
God, I hope not.
Ugh, boy. Old Boy, that
Don't
is.
you mean 'em? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I was listening, because Blank Check, I did the films of Park Chan-wook, and they were trying to figure out why it's called Old Boy. My conclusion is it's because he was locked in a room for all that time, so his like maturity is stunted, but he is grizzled and old. Do I have the correct read on that, or am I taking it way too literally?
Actually, it's called Old Boy because he is a boy and he's old.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, technically, just by definition, he is male, and he is old. So it's not entirely off, but I think you are onto something there. I think, yeah, maybe his growth was just stunted, and he was locked in that room with just like a single copy of VeggieTales or something that he had watched and repeat for 15 years.
Oh. Fucking, that's just, you're making me think back to my days with a portable DVD player in the back of the car. Is that VeggieTales and Bobby's World on repeat?
That'll make you an old boy.
Yeah. I think I'm a pretty old boy. I'm 27. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I think that constitutes old boyism.
I think so.
Will, save me from my,
You're an old boy.
A very old boy. Well, save me from this existential crisis with your first topic of the evening, please.
All right, it's toast time, and once again, I feel like my favorite game of the year is very early on, because I'm toasting Tekken 8. Tekken has always been, like, really cool to me, but I've never gotten, like, the combos fully. Like, I thought, the characters were very well designed, and the story was very cool. But now that, and, this may partially be because this is the first Tekken game I've, like, put effort into. But this is, like, one of my new favorite fighting games ever. This is, like, very close to possibly even, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is my favorite. Obviously, I don't think anything's gonna beat MVC 2, but Tekken 8 is a fucking marvel of a game.
But it's not the Marvel game.
Yeah, that's true. So it has a story kind of like in Tekken 7, but unlike in Tekken 7, we're not following some like weird news reporter. It's just a straightforward story. And honestly, it follows the story of Jin and Kazuya and what they're up to. And the Mishima Zaibatsu is gonna, fuck up the Earth once again. But it's just like also a very good story about like identity and the cycle of evil and pain. The ending fight, like typically in most fighting games, you get to the end and you fight the boss. It's like a 3-round fight. I counted. The last boss is Jin against Kazuya, and just like the last section of their fight, because they go into like multiple phases, and I don't want to spoil some stuff, but there's a lot of great calls-backs. The last section of their fight is 6 rounds.
Ugh.
And somehow I didn't get bored a single time.
Oh, well, because it's fucking amazing, that's why.
Yeah, no, I think, like, even just as someone who, like, hasn't looked at all the, Tekken movies and stuff, I just felt this, like, profound, sadness between Jin and Kazuya that's, like, really well put out in the context of battle. They also do, like, a lot of cool throwback stuff with both music and, surprisingly, movesets. And, I will say, Jin did start World War III, but somehow, and I can't believe I'm saying this, they actually redeem him. They make it okay.
It's okay, guys. He said he was sorry.
Yeah.
Steven Universe could never.
Honestly, yeah.
When...
I think we're gonna have to kill this guy again.
Around the point you're mentioning, I texted you about this, and I don't want to give it away, but there are musical callbacks that, like, made me almost jump out of my skin with pure ecstasy at their cue.
No, it's insanely good, and there's, like, besides the story, there's the jukebox mode, which lets you play stuff from old Tekken games, like, on the stages. But, like, and even story aside, the customization in Tekken Soul Calibur is always top-notch. I was having a lot of fun with that. But also, pretty much, I will say there are some exceptions, but I don't think I've played a fighting game where I pick up these many characters, and I'm like, oh, this one is so much fun to play. Oh, this one is so much fun to play. Oh, this one is so much fun to play. Like, I would say about like 60 to 75% of the cast of Tekken 8, I could like just keep playing and never get tired of. Whereas, even with a game like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I always pretty much pick the same team.
Yeah.
But like, going through the story mode and the arcade ending, it's just a ton of fun, like, trying out these new characters, and now that I understand how Tekken gameplay works, doing combos. I would honestly say more than any other fighting game, I think the combos in Tekken are the most satisfying to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they're not super long like Marvel combos, but, they're weird, and when you can, kind of hone in on that weirdness, something very special happens.
And it's easy to access but hard to master, as some would say.
Yeah, exactly.
I think day one, I was just doing shit as Leroy that I was calling the most insane shit I've ever done in a fighting game.
Yeah, no, and fighting games have consistently gotten a bit more flashy, but I feel like Tekken 8 very much so is the pinnacle of that. We were doing a rage receiver with the rage arts, and typically in a game, even one I really like, there's maybe 2 10 out of 10s, and the rest are just 7s. I think there's only 2 supers in the game that I dislike, and the rest were 8, 9, 10.
Oh yeah.
Even if it was a character I didn't like. The execution of this game is absolutely flawless. In addition, it's a nice contrast because, the big 3 of fighting games are Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat to a lesser extent. And, I've talked about this on the podcast before, but, I was not looking forward to Street Fighter 6 because none of the new characters, except I'd say JP, looked interesting to me. The rest, I was oh man, this guy kind of sucks. But all 3 new characters in Tekken 8, even if I don't completely adore them, I'm okay, yeah, these could have belonged in Tekken since the beginning. These are all very good and I won't say fleshed out because Azucena, but that's kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
I just seeing their gameplay trailer, I was just okay, this is a fantastic new character, which I don't think I usually say in fighting games. Tommy, you know me, I'm a bit of a screw for the classics. I love old stuff. And when there's newfangled fighting game characters and the cool hip children, I don't always like them. But Azucena, whose personality is literally just I like coffee, is somehow an incredibly appealing and fun character. Reina, who barely does anything, is insanely cool. And then Victor, oh Jesus Christ, Victor is one of my new favorite fighting game characters ever. And I think just putting out 3 kind of incredible newcomers into a game with an already very good roster, with fantastic gameplay, a great story, honestly 10 out of 10 music, even if it didn't have the old stuff, and customization. This is it is a fantastic turn to be a Tekken fan right now.
Uh-huh.
This feels so much love and effort was put into it, and it really shines through. Most video games are $70 now, and even if I like a game, I'm okay, that's fucking too much. I don't feel even an iota bad about spending $70 to get Tekken, because it is, I truly think that we'll look back and be this was the best fighting game of the 2020s. Now obviously, we've got 6 more years of it, so something might change. But I think I'm pretty confident in saying that this is my second favorite fighting game of all time, and I've only had it for a month and a half. But because it's so strong and everything is so good, I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Well, and I think of how we'd come across Tekken 7 or Tekken Tag 2 on PlayStation Network or whatever, and we'd screw around with it a little, and I think I always got the feeling that you'd find them pretty fun, but I'd always be a little yeah, but you don't know what this used to be. And I feel Tekken 8 is the first game that feels like Tekken 5 ever. I mean, like, Tekken 5, I think, is, like, the high everyone's been chasing, and they've just been stumbling and not getting it, and Tekken 8 actually fucking gets it. And I'm like, no, this is how it's supposed to have been. They finally landed back on their feet.
No, yeah, I completely agree. Because, like, as an outsider, I've enjoyed, every Tekken game that I've played. But, like, everyone always talks about Tekken 5 as the pinnacle. But now I feel like we're finally something even better somehow.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
So would you say Victor is your main?
I would say so, yeah. I really love Victor. Dragunov is a ton of fun to play. Paul. Kazuya, Jin. Like, I would say I put most time in with Victor, but pretty much, like, everyone is a ton of fun to play. I will say that one character I really don't like and still kind of think, like, it's not a great addition to the cast is Panda. Although Panda does have, like, a very good arcade ladder ending, I felt like that definitely could have been someone else. But that's one out of the entire roster, and I don't think, like, that can often be said for a fighting game.
I'll be dead in the ground before I accept Jack into my heart. I think we're just at a point where we don't need him.
Jack?
Yeah, Jack 8.
Whoa, Tommy, that's, like, sacrilegious.
You love Jack 8?
I mean, it's, like, I don't love Jack, but I mean, he's Jack. Although I will say, when I was playing his arcade ladder, I pretty much, like, constantly tried to go for the stupid one-hit KO moves. And, like, they rarely land, but when they do, there's nothing quite like it.
Okay, let me ask you, are you this defensive of Jack because he's been around since the first game?
Oh, I know where this is going.
I'm gonna be honest, Tommy, no. I'm this defensive of Jack because I really like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Couldn't lead into that gotcha, huh?
I just feel if one of the original 8 characters should be dropped, it should have been Jack and not the fucking Chang family.
I agree that, like, they should be back, but I mean, I guess there is no but. Like, I do agree they should be back. I just, like, very much like playing as Jack because I think he's funny. And because of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not gonna sugarcoat it. Rah! Rah! Rah!
Yeah, I figured that was going into Jigglypuff territory.
No.
But yeah, Tommy, do you have, I know, Gab, I pretty much just, like, shown you Tekken 8 because, like, I made some characters. Do either of you have any more comments on it, or shall we move on?
I like the coffee lady.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's funny.
I wasn't sold on her when I first saw the trailer, but playing as her is so fucking fun, because, like, she's the first character since, like, Steve, who, like, instead of 4 attack buttons, half of her commands are mapped to dodging. So you'll, like, get to, like, lean back a little, then just, like, wind back with this amazing punch. It's so fucking great. She's so cool. I love jukebox mode a lot too. I just set that every game soundtrack shuffles, so there'll be like the really big like Tekken 8 dubstep, and then it'll give me like, here's Paul's theme from Tekken 1, and it's like meow 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 meow. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it really is the ultimate Tekken experience.
It's weird. I thought I'd be more positive on Reina than you, but it's kind of switched around. I felt so blue-balled by her by the end of it.
See, I do agree that, like, she didn't really do much, but I think, like, I think that she's got, like, a cool enough performance and moveset to stand out.
She's fucking cool, like in a vacuum. I felt like they really dropped the ball with like actually having her do something.
No, I do agree with that.
Yeah. That's probably my one complaint. How about martial law turning evil because he's been cucked out of money?
Yeah.
Ugh, fucking great. But they were just like, we don't have enough evil characters. I guess Law has just been jilted one time too many. Ugh.
Yeah.
It feels so fucking good there's actual arcade endings again, because Tekken 7 has this horse piss character episode thing where it's one fight, and it's debatably, like, not remotely significant. It's fucking I was like, and Tekken 6 almost kind of had the same thing, where endings had to be unlocked in a story camp. I was like, just let me play the tower with everyone and get a weird but cool video again. And they just had to fucking do that, and they fucking did it! And I loved it. The endings in this are, like, fucking great.
Yeah, no, like I said, even though I, like, think Panda's a waste of space, I watched her ending and I'm like, this is the perfect ending.
I'm trying to... What happened in her ending again?
She becomes the head of the Mishima Zaibatsu. And she's like, they ask her questions and she's like, I didn't think I'd make it this far. I was just trying to, like, help my owner find Jin.
I kept thinking of the Kuma ending where she goes on a date with him in space.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the Kuma ending kind of sucked.
Oh, man. I think Feng's ending might be my favorite, because he's been cucked out of his rival since Tekken 5. Do you know, when he was introduced, who his rival was?
It was Asuka, right?
Yeah, and then they said, fuck that, and they made Lily, and Feng has had nothing to fucking do since Tekken 5. So this one, they're like, oh, hey, we have one of the coolest fucking characters ever. Let's have him be rivals with this other amazing fucking character who doesn't have a rival. And that's how he and Leroy started to have beef, and it's like one of my new favorite dynamics in the series.
Damn, yeah, I haven't gotten to that ending yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
It's a good one. And you saw them interact a little in the story, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one. I love that Leroy is like kind of almost like a master figure. Like he knows more shit than he's telling Jin like wise words to live off of when he just like came out of nowhere in Tekken 7 DLC. And we were like starving for a cool fucking character because fucking we had Gygus and Katarina and a bunch of lame assholes. And then they descended Leroy from the heavens. And we were like, why haven't you been doing characters like this all along? Are you kidding me?
I mean, they really picked it up with Tekken 8, I feel.
You know what? I'm on the record as kind of a mark for Mortal Kombat. I like MK1, warts and all. Street Fighter 6, I even still think is pretty great, and I follow that one pretty closely. Tekken 8 I think should make them fucking feel bad.
Honestly, yeah. No, it is a complete experience, and even if you know nothing about Tekken, it's still a fantastic game.
Terrific. I don't know what could there's not a game that's like from an existing IP that I'm anticipating on a level that could topple Tekken 8. I could think of a couple like out of nowhere things that could maybe be my goatee, but this is like pretty definitively. I think I like this more than any game from last year, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that's very fair. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about all I have to share about it. Did you want to cover anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much the long and short of it, so I will switch it over to Dav.
Well, speaking of Tekken and characters who should be in Tekken, Earwig and the Witch by Goro Miyazaki is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
I thought you were going to go on like a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth thing, because Tifa should so be in Tekken.
Well, Rebirth isn't out yet.
I don't know if there was like a demo or something, or
there was a demo.
I could devote maybe a 30-minute toast to the Tifa bikini we got to look at.
Yeah, that's fair. I could see that.
Are you both privy to my theory that every love triangle is someone having to choose between the Tifa and the Aerith, and you can always designate two characters? as the Tifa and the Aerith, and the Tifa is always the correct choice.
Even when the genders are swapped?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good way to put it.
Starship Troopers, between Dizzy and Carmen, Dizzy is the Tifa, and she's the correct choice.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, I think that carries over to real life, too, because when I was in high school, I was also in a love triangle, and yeah, it turned out the Tifa was the correct choice.
Yeah. Riverdale, Betty is the Tifa, Veronica is the Aerith, Betty's the correct choice.
Yeah, that's very true. That's true.
You certainly got a point there.
Sorry, Dab, I just really don't want to talk about fucking Earwig and the Witch.
No, me neither. I think you're doing me a mercy here.
Well, let's hear it. Let's hear about the 90-minute Cocomelon sketch that they called Earwig and the Witch.
So, as a continuation from my what I discussed in the last episode, I was doing Ghibli January, and I did successfully manage to watch all of them in January. And the last one I watched, since I already saw Boy and the Heron in theaters, was Earwig and the Witch. And this is, as you touched upon, it's a Ghibli movie in the style of Cocomelon. Like, if I went to an AI image generator and said, give me a Ghibli movie in the style of Cocomelon, it would probably return this entire film. Because this piece of shit is, like I said, directed by Goro Miyazaki. So not the Hayao Miyazaki, but his son, who he allegedly considers to be a failure. Is about this little girl who is an orphan for some reason. Even if you watch this movie all the way through, it's never explained why she was orphaned. But she's an orphan who does not want to get adopted because I think she just likes kind of having control over some of the other children in the orphanage and just appreciates her life there. But one day, she gets adopted by these two weird fucks. One of them is a witch, the other is probably Satan or something. And she goes to their house and is effectively told that she's going to live out the rest of her life as a slave, and just have to help out the witch lady and hope that the Satan character doesn't, I don't know, fucking murder her or something. And for some reason she's very pleased by this, and over the course of the movie she kind of learns some of the magic that the witch does. And at the end of the movie, I say the end quite liberally there because it's not really an ending, but towards the end, she realizes that her foster parents, the witch and Satan, were members of a band that she is apparently a fan of, and for some reason just did not ever really connect the dots that they were from that band. But it was a 3-person band, and the vocalist was her biological mother. That makes about as much sense as it sounds like. And the movie just kind of ends with her biological mother showing up with one of the other kids from the orphanage. And that's it.
That's just like... It's just kind of insane that movie got made.
See, like... I think last time I roasted Tales from Earthsea, also from Goro Miyazaki.
Yeah, I guess Io was right about him.
Everyone's like, oh, he's so mean to his son, but I think if you talk to him, he'd be like, no, you don't understand. Have you seen...
It's like, oh, Hayao Miyazaki's an abusive father, and then you look at the movies that Goro Miyazaki has posted, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. So, like, Tales from Earthsea is not a good movie. It's very much not a good movie. But I at least sort of respect and understand, like, what it was kind of going for. And, like, I can call it a movie. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's very boring, but it's a movie. And this isn't a fucking movie. This is allegedly based on a story that was not quite finished, by the same author who made Howl's Moving Castle, which I can imagine is the only reason this was picked up. So I just question, why, of all things to adapt, did you pick an unfinished story? And not even, like, try to make an ending for it.
Right.
It's shooting yourself in the foot over not just an incomprehensible story and movie, but some of the worst animation I have ever seen from anything. Like, this is some bottom tier, like, you know those, like, clickbait YouTube movies that people find, like, Finding Jesus and shit, those horribly animated independent films that YouTubers will always dunk on. This is, like, on par with that.
The Saber Spark. I can already picture the Saber Spark thumbnail. Has he done this one?
I wouldn't be surprised. It would be. It's easy to make fun of this.
This movie was directed by Goro Miyazaki. That's right, Hayao-san.
Now, I'm not a furry, but I kinda wanted to fuck the cat. Also, the world's most punchable child.
Earwig or Custard?
Kind of both of them, but I guess we spend more time with Earwig, and she is the world's most punchable child.
Custard. What? That's like the saving grace of this film, is that she has a British accent and she says custard, so it reminds me of the Auntie Donna Christmas Pud sketch.
Yeah, but she also calls the cat Custard, even though it's, like, definitely not his name, but she calls him Custard so many times that it might as well be, so there are technically two characters named Custard.
So this movie did have room for Custard.
Yeah, it had room for Custard.
You know, if you mash Colonel Mustard together, you get Custard.
Okay. What do you want me to do with that?
I don't know what came over me. I just had to say it.
Tommy, you get your next turn skid.
Damn it.
That's fair.
Oh.
I is short for I, and D is short for dentification. That's an old Norm joke.
Well, the other day I had when we were seeing Drive Away Dolls with Troy, a film we will not cover on this podcast, Troy was eating his popcorn in the hallway as we exited and saying, and going, oh, the film was a bit much. And I go, yeah, Troy, and you're a bit munch, because he's eating the popcorn. And I hear Dav just audibly go, fucking Tommy, what the hell?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that whole, like, that encounter was far more entertaining than anything that happens in this movie, so. Fucking Earwig.
Yeah.
I almost want a sequel to this just because I want to know what could they possibly fucking do.
It's one of those and they do plots.
They get a food truck and they, like, travel across the country.
Wait,
yeah, but what's the conflict?
Well, whoa. Which food truck is kind of something? It'd be so...
Like a, I don't know, like a 50s diner scene?
Well, it's like a witch food, they could, like, serve soup, but it's, like, in a cauldron. That's something.
That is something, yeah.
The truck is shaped like a huge broom. Come on, this is going pretty well, actually.
You can't drive a truck that's shaped like a broom. That wouldn't, like, meet any of the road standards.
Well, that's, like, the joke, is that they're constantly causing accidents.
The only oddly shaped vehicle I'll accept is the Oscar Mayer Wiener.
The Wienermobile?
Yeah, the Wienermobile.
Dude, you know, you've caught wind of the hot dog book I read over the summer, right?
Yeah.
So the comedian who wrote that book, Jamie Loftus, got to, as part of her hot dog road trip, she got to interview some people who drove the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck, and she's like, it's always a boy and a girl, teamed up, and it is, almost guaranteed they will have sex at some point within the Wiener truck. It just happens.
Yeah, it's the Wienermobile. You gotta let it live up to its name. There's a wiener inside of the wiener.
Ugh.
Anywho, that's the end of Ghibli January. There was a lot more good than bad, but man, Goro Miyazaki does not make it easy to focus on, anything else.
Well, and it pisses me off when people miss the point of The Boy and the Heron being Miyazaki basically saying, having, the pedigree of my art is a curse, and I kind of wouldn't wish it on my son, because, even if you didn't suck, the shadow I cast is impossibly huge, and that's not even egotistical to say, because I'm Hayao Miyazaki.
Sure, I mean, he had a successor, and that successor died after making one movie, so the studio just kind of fucked.
Did he make, one of the Ghibli ones? Which one did he...
He made Whisper of the Heart.
Oh, I didn't realize.
So Country Roads took him home.
He made the best Ghibli movie, in my opinion, and he was set up to be the new successor for Ghibli, and then he died.
Well, I just think of how Sam Raimi...
Find anybody.
I just think of how people caught pictures of Sam Raimi and he just looked like shit after making Multiverse of Madness. How people are like, this is what 6 months of working for Kevin Feige does to a motherfucker.
Yeah, all of the hair has fallen off the top of his head.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, I don't want to know what anybody who worked on Madam Web looks like. Okay, goodbye Ghibli January, goodbye Earwig. I wish I could punch you in real life. Handing it off to Tommy.
Alright. I'm glad they forgot about skipping my turn. Oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud. I suppose I've been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm for the first time, and I am heartily toasting it. It is the show created and starring Larry David as a fictionalized version of himself. And frankly, the big reason I sought it out was because on my I Think You Should Leave video about how I feel it's in many ways an autistic text, someone commented, can you do Curb Your Enthusiasm as an autistic text? And I'm not promising that right this second, but I think that is absolutely there and possible. So Curb Your Enthusiasm. So I think Larry David either helped. He was a co-creator of Seinfeld, which is known for being a neurosis-driven sitcom. So Curb Your Enthusiasm is kind of the spiritual successor, where Larry David based George Costanza partly on himself and his neurosis and all every weird scruple. And it's the kind of show where in season 1, I'm like, oh, Larry, you and your antics. But by season 6, I'm kind of like, why doesn't anybody just leave Larry alone? He's entirely reasonable here. Goodness. Because it's kind of, I Think You Should Leave-esque, where it's him having just very particular scruples and extremely, he just very much acts in his own way without fully thinking it through, and he does not get why people get so frustrated with him. I think my personal favorite episode, he's at a dinner party, and the host's daughter is up there playing in her room. And he goes up, he needs to use the bathroom, downstairs bathroom is occupied. He goes up to the little girl's room, and he's like, oh, what are you doing? She's like, I'm cutting my dolly's hair. And he's like, oh, well, why don't you let me help? And he grabs the scissors, and he cuts the dolly's hair. And then, like, he goes back downstairs, everything's fine, and the little girl is, like, crying, like, that man cut my doll's hair! And they're like, what the hell, Larry? You don't cut a doll's hair, it doesn't grow back! And he's like, but she asked me to do it! And they're like, why do you listen to a little girl? And the whole fucking party is pissed at him. But at the core, it looks psychotic, being, like, from the outside looking in, I'm like, yeah, I'd be pissed too. But putting yourself in Larry's shoes, I'm like, yeah, no, I see where he's coming from. She asked for the doll's hair to be cut. Shit like that. So he goes on, like, a journey to, like, replace the doll's head, and it's a whole fucking thing. It's really, you know, two Good Place fans in the room, his, like, rival, because it's him as a Hollywood, like, performer and producer. Like, it's a fictionalized version of his life. So his rival that he hates is Ted Danson.
Does Ted Danson play himself, too?
Yeah, almost everybody is just like themselves, maybe with their last name changed.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah, so, like, Ted Danson is just, like, so fucking perfect. Like, I think another really good one is there's, like, an art gallery opening up, and Larry donates a huge sum of money to have a wing named after him. They're like, in honor of Larry's donation, there's a wing put up in his honor. And then Ted Danson is, and then there's another that's, like, anonymous. And he eventually hears, well, Ted Danson put up the anonymous wing. He just didn't want to brag about it. And Larry is, like, incensed, because he's like, why would you make it anonymous and then tell people? Because you want the credit for being anonymous, for not wanting the credit, that's wanting the credit! And then he, like, pisses off one of the curators of the art gallery, and he's like, Larry David, I'm taking your name off. And he's like, yeah, do it. Replace it with anonymous. See if I care. He is just, like, the embodiment of sour grapes and just finding some way to feel like he won or is bitter about any given situation. It's so fucking funny. It's very easy to, like, feel like Larry David, I think.
Living like Larry.
Yeah. It could very well be an autism thing where you just get worked up over things not being particular, and I'm very, like, you both have, like, lived with my little tantrums if I don't like a poster on Letterboxd. And, like, Larry's wife calls him when she's on a plane, worried it might crash, and he's, like, chirping about their TiVo. That's, like, the kind of guy he is. And I kind of see that in my future in a way that is upsetting. Also, I think maybe the week after I started watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, news came out that it was going to be its last season. So I think I'm a little bit cursed, and every show I watch is doomed to die. So take that as you will. Don't recommend me your favorites. Stop it, as a matter of fact.
Have you seen Has Been Hotel?
Oh, God. Technically, everyone dies, Tommy.
Technically, everyone dies? What?
Yeah, everyone and everything. You said that they're cursed to die. Well, I mean, they are going to eventually, so...
Well, unless they... Remember when there was that week no one could stop talking about Steamboat Willie? I'm kind of glad that's over.
You're not looking forward to the Steamboat Willie slasher movie?
I just think everyone had their fun. Even if you put out a Steamboat Willie trailer, you don't, like, have to fit it. Like, we get it. You don't have to put out the thing. You had your fun. We get it. Too many Steamboat Willies, Jeff! I'm turning into Larry as we speak. Will, let's rotate it back to you, please.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, there are certain shows, you know, every show is destined to end. But recently, I've been watching a show that hasn't really ended. That being Doctor Who.
Probably never will.
Yeah. It's going to be like 3100, and they're going to be like, Meeple Nutsack is playing the Doctor, and a bunch of conservatives are going to be like, fucking woke. Jay, who you might know from the Toasties, has been showing me Doctor Who. And Doctor Who's always had like a really odd place in my heart because I watched the second season of Matt Smith with my dad, the second and third, and that was it. Like, that was the only Doctor Who I ever watched. But I remember, like, when I was in high school being like, oh, this is fucking, no show gets better than this. So recently we went back and we started watching, New Who in order. We did Eccleston's stuff, which is, very good, 8 out of 10. But I want to talk about David Tennant's stuff, which I'm going to toast.
Yeah, he's peak.
Incredibly so. David Tennant is a fantastic actor, and the way he plays the Doctor is very, very engaging. But also, the writing is just very good. It's an incredibly solid sci-fi show, and it's also a lot of fun. Some of the episodes are just like, oh, they're going to not ancient England, but like, Elizabethan England, and they're gonna, fuck around here and there. And like, there are weak episodes like that, although I would argue that it's weird because every Doctor Who season, like, they have an episode where they go into the past, like to either Elizabethan England or like something like that, and it's always just not very good. But pretty much everything else with Tennant is absolutely spot on. He has 3 companions, Rose, Martha, and Donna. All of them are very well written and very fun to watch. The adventures that he gets himself up to are very fun and creative. Obviously, Doctor Who always thrives in the monster designs and, the set dressings. And I think Tennant's season really does take that up to, a 10.
I'm sorry. Well, you said Doctor Who thrives on monsters designs. I picture the trash cans he fights. Are you sure about that?
The Daleks?
The Daleks? The Daleks are a great design.
Yeah.
What about the Cybermen? Look pretty silly.
The Cybermen are cool.
Yeah. Anyways, Tommy, now you have to skip your next turn. No, but like, so obviously the Doctor is a character that's been portrayed by many people and it's kind of like gone on. But I do feel like Tennant does kind of play a perfect Doctor. I'm watching Matt Smith seasons right now, and I probably will toast that eventually. And I do really love how Matt Smith plays the Doctor. But David Tennant creates this character who's like, has, all this lovely heart, but then also just sheer moments of like dread and fear. Like, and like moments where they too are scary. Like there's a scene where, the concept of New Who is that the Doctor had to like kill his planet, and like all the Time Lords on it to stop the Time War. And the only reason he survived is pretty much because he's the one who activated the weapon. So like, save the universe from the Daleks. But there's this one scene in a special where there's like a so in Doctor Who there are fixed points in time where like you can't change anything or things will happen. And there's a fixed point in time where this entire crew is gonna die on a planet. And eventually we like see him walking away, but then he like comes back to save them. Which you think, oh, that's nice, it's not like, he's learning that people are more important. But then he goes into this speech where he tells this, like, old lady, the commander, that she was going to die, and that death inspired her granddaughter to, like, explore the cosmos and, lead the human race into, like, new galaxies. And he delivers this excellent speech about it's like kind of terrifying because like pretty much up until then he is very much like kind of calm and controlled, but like this is where his ego like reaches the max. He's just like, listen, I won the Time War, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Time bows to me, not the other way around. And you see this character who we've like gone on adventures with, and we've seen him love and lost, and he's just kind of like finally broken down, and it's an incredible moment played to perfection by Tennant. And I think that's kind of like what really sets the seasons of Tennant apart, is that he's just so good at playing the Doctor. He makes him like incredibly like three-dimensional, and he is like the kind of smarmy but very egotistical, but still wants to help. But then we do see those moments where he comes out and he's like, fuck this, I'm so fucking tired of all of this. And it's genuinely amazing. All his 3 seasons are about 9 out of 10s for me. Because obviously, there are a few episodes where they go back in the past and it's not very good. They like go back to say hello to Shakespeare and it's kind of bad. But like every adventure that they go on, every person that they meet feels fully fleshed out. And I think that can't be said for a lot of shows that run as long as Who. Judging off what I heard, obviously that doesn't last, into some of the stuff I heard about the later seasons. But I am, I finally, I remembered what it was like watching Doctor Who with my dad again, and, enjoying these characters, and, running along with the Doctor's adventure. And I'm just kind of hitting myself for, taking this much time to get back into it.
I think what I always found really interesting about, and I'm kind of from the outside looking in, I always really love the trivia that it always seems to come back around. A lot of the core elements of Doctor Who seem to stem from the fact that they never thought it would go as long as it did. I think I just recently heard that they established early on that a Doctor can regenerate 12 times, because they're like, we're never going to reach 12, and then they're like, fuck, okay, let's see if we can figure something out here. Stuff like that.
Unfortunately, stuff like that does lead to parts of the show that just are kind of horrible. I know some stuff with the regeneration rule that happens in, Jodie Whittaker season is, I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's, not liked by a lot of the fan base. So I think that's definitely a double-edged sword. Sometimes it works out very well, sometimes it really doesn't.
Well, maybe I'll jump in the new one, because for all the shit talking I do, I've never actually, I've vaguely tried, I think, Chris Eccleston, and kind of didn't really get into it. But I hear they're all pretty accessible, so maybe I'll try the new one. I don't know.
I mean, may as well. You pretty much just, the nice thing about Doctor Who is even if you haven't seen any of the previous Doctors, if you don't know what something is, or if the Doctor's like, oh, we meet again, you can just, Google when did this character show up, and you can be like, oh, he fought him once in Old Who.
Okay.
And that's all you need to know.
That's fair.
Yeah, I loved 9 and 10 when I was in high school. Especially David Tennant. He's just, the Doctor to me. And, he had the best companions, I think, and just overall, the writing was really solid, I think, a lot of the time for him. I think Jack Harkness really stood out to me as just being this really fun character.
Yeah, Jack Harkness is a great character. I sure hope his actor didn't do anything horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a shame, but, at the time, no controversy, he was just fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, even looking back, it's I do really enjoy his character. It just kind of sucks that, he can't come back because, I don't think he's ever going to act again, probably.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, wait, that was John Barrowman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the guy we saw at Comic-Con, correct?
Yeah, so it was it's a bit of a bummer to hear the news.
So wait, what did he do?
He would, like, on the set of Doctor Who, he would regularly, like, whip his dick out.
Oh!
Then, when people would, like, confront him about it, he would be like, what, you're not supposed to do that? You can't do that?
Jesus Christ, okay then.
Yeah, so, I don't think he's ever coming back, but, Doctor Who is very good, and, like, even some of the episodes that, like, people generally don't like, I still enjoy, because it's just such a fun adventure. Unfortunately, the worst episode, at least so far, does have a soundtrack by Electric Light Orchestra, but, you know, it happens.
That is a damn shame.
Yeah. Anyways, I shall pass it to Doctor Who.
Alright, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this for probably a while. To cap off my toast of the Remedyverse last time, I'm going to full-on toast Alan Wake 2, which is the latest in the Remedyverse, just came out late last year, and a pretty big departure from what has previously been established by the other Alan Wake games, that being one An American Nightmare, because it is just a full-on horror game. It is, I would say that one and especially American Nightmare were more dark action with horror elements. One could occasionally have some pretty scary parts in it, but it wasn't like, you know, it was enough of like a 2010s third-person shooter that, you know, it could only go so far with that. But this one just full-on goes into the survival horror genre, and it does it so well. There are so many parts of this game that are just terrifying, and the atmosphere and the mood is just perfect. It really, just all the way through, I felt like it finally locked into the atmosphere that it was always kind of building up to, and based on kind of how the story goes, I can definitely see that we're going to get more from this universe, both in Control 2, which has already been confirmed, and there's going to be more DLC for Alan Wake 2 that's coming out this year, and we're probably going to get more Alan Wake games. So I'm very much looking forward to that if this is the direction that we're going to go.
Now, you have to answer the question that everyone's been asking. Is Alan Wake Alan Woke?
You know, I feel like, a lot of people might say, unironically, that yes it is, because this game has two protagonists. One of them is Alan Wake, the other is Saga Anderson, who is a black woman who works for the FBI. And I am almost certain that there are some chuds on Twitter or something who didn't respond well to that. Because, you know, most of the detractive reviews that I have seen against it seem to mention her in some capacity, so take that as you will. But I personally think she is a great addition to this. I think that she ties into the lore of the story, and her connection to pre-existing characters is done very well. And really my only problem with her is that she is an FBI agent from New York, and her actress is constantly slipping into a British accent by accident.
So she's like, hey, I'm from Yonkers, and also tea.
Yeah.
Wake up, Alan. Do the maths.
Pretty much. I mean, you know, to be fair, this is a game, you know, it's a Finnish game at its core. Most of the actors are Finnish or English. And so I don't expect it to be like a perfect representation of the Pacific Northwest. But, environmentally, because this takes place in Bright Falls, which is the setting from the first Alan Wake game. And, with the new technology and the way that the environment is made, it really is stunning. Like, it looks like a place in Washington State, like a remote forested area. So I think they nailed that very well. And I think it kind of justifies how, number one, this is exclusive to next gen, which is unfortunately something that is not all too common. So many games still get released for Xbox One and PS4 along with next gen. Even now, we're almost 4 years into the life cycle of this generation. So it is definitely a hefty game, and I think it's very much worth playing on either a very good computer, although actually I won't say that now since it's an Epic Game Store exclusive, don't support them, or a PlayStation 5 or Series X, because it really deserves that level of power to just show, like, for example, Saga Anderson has the ability to go into her mind place, which is, I don't know if you've ever heard of, like, the Mind Palace concept, where if you want to, like, think of something, do critical thinking, you imagine a physical space and different, like, things connecting there. This is, like, a very literal interpretation of that, where you press on PS5 the touchpad, and, like, literally instantly you go from wherever you are to this, like, investigation room, this fully 3D modeled investigation room, where you kind of put together clues for whatever she's investigating on the wall, or, like, profile people. And it really is cool to just kind of see how quickly you can switch between those two things. And that's really only possible on this next-gen hardware with the solid-state drives.
That does sound fucking cool. It sounds like it's done way better, like, what's it? Oh, no, not Ghost Trick. I like that game. Fuck.
Ghostwire Tokyo?
No, the other mystery game that I didn't... The Danganronpa, Raincode. Raincode. Raincode does something similar, and I hated it. And this sounds like it's done much better.
Sure, but that's on the Switch.
Yes. Yes. Also, point in that favor.
Yeah. This game is really, truly stunning looking. I did still play on performance mode, which does give it a little bit of a hit to the graphics, but I can't stand playing at anything less than 60 frames per second anymore.
No.
But even still, it's a very amazing looking game, and one of the truly fantastic parts of this is in the first Alan Wake game, you go to the Anderson brothers farm to like retrieve a clue for how to beat the main villain of the game, and while you're there, you set off a recording that is basically just a heavy metal song by Poets of the Fall. In fiction, or like in this universe, they're the old gods of Asgard. And it's a really great song, and you just kill a shitload of Taken while it's blaring, and you got all this ammo, and it's just this high intensity, high energy thing. They do a similar thing in American Nightmare. They do a really good version of it in Control. And then in this, they do probably my favorite, just ultimate culmination of that concept with an entire level called We Sing, and it's that like Finnish rock ballad that I already showed you guys.
The one that plays literally every time I get into your car?
I mean, it's on my playlist, but
yeah.
I don't think it plays every time you get into my car.
Is that the da 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 that one?
Yes, Herald of Darkness.
Yeah.
There's an entire level built around it, and it's so fucking great. Which is great because I honestly wasn't a huge fan of a lot of Alan's gameplay in this. They introduce these enemies that are pretty much impossible to actually fight because you're just not given enough ammo to deal with the sheer number of them. So I just honestly felt like it would have been more worth it to not even give Alan any weapons to make it more clear that you're kind of just supposed to avoid them. But, beyond that, it's such a fantastic level, and then they do another one for Saga later on that is also fantastic. So having two of those in one game is great. I'm such a sucker for, like, these musical segments, especially when they're this high-octane shit.
I do love that kind of shit, too, yeah.
It's really great. I mean, the direction in this game is really something to... I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. Like, Sam Lake won Best Game Director at the Game Awards last year, and I think it was very well deserved, because he is honestly just an insane genius. There is a segment where you're in a movie theater, and it plays a full-on 20-minute short finish film that ties into the story, and it ended up becoming like one of my favorite short films. Like, I logged it on Letterboxd, but it's something that you can just watch in the game.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fucking great. So yeah, this I feel like this and Control both. Like, Control has a lot of kinks to iron out that I'm very confident they will after this, because Control 2, I think, is the next game that they're releasing, and I'm so excited for that, because if they can take what worked in Control 1 and combine it with the awesome direction and everything that they did in Alan Wake 2, I think it's going to be just a fucking peak game. It's going to be amazing. And this was very much worth playing through Alan Wake 1, Control, and honestly, I would say even American Nightmare, just to see Mr. Scratch and see how he evolves into this game, because everything pays off here. Like, if you skip any of those, just some things are not going to hit as hard, and it all works super well for me. So I am very much excited to see what they do in the future with this.
It does sound like something I'd want to catch up on, because the way you just... So would you say, is it like a shooter foremost, or an action game, or a horror game, or...
So the first game and American Nightmare, I would say, are mostly shooters. American Nightmare especially. You don't have to play American Nightmare, but I recommend watching all of the scenes with Mr. Scratch in them, at least, on YouTube.
Alright.
Because American Nightmare does kind of suck as a game. It is, you essentially just have to play the same section 3 times. It gets kind of old.
Boy.
But Alan Wake 1 is very good. It's like a horror shooter, but you're still given more than enough resources, and it's like, it's not nearly as much of just a full-on survival horror game as Alan Wake 2 is.
Okay.
But Control has a little bit of horror in it, but it is very much just like, you're a superhero, go fuck shit up, and it's really fun.
That sounds fucking cool, okay.
Yeah, I know you also mentioned that there's like quite a few references to Lovecraft, like in both, like in name and in like lore stuff. And I don't think we really have a cosmic horror like video game. I guess besides Bloodborne, but I don't count that. So this one is pretty cool. I think. I think I may pick it up as well.
Yeah, this is, I would say, overall straight up very Lovecraftian. Like, the idea of the lake and the dark place is very eldritch, I think, in that way. And it is also, like, it's inspired pretty heavily by House of Leaves. And the sister of the author of House of Leaves, Poe, does a lot of the soundtrack for Alan Wake 2.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I fucking love this. It always has its pain points, as most survival horrors do. The combat isn't going to be perfect, but I think that overall it works super well for me. So yeah, I'm excited to see the continuation of even Saga, who is just a brand new character. They did so well with just introducing her and making her a part of this, so happy to see where that goes. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on that, so I will... Should I pass it off to Tommy? We might be skipping him.
Colonel Custard!
Yeah, now you don't get it.
Okay, Chungwanamo Bay!
Alright, yeah, that's fine. Alright, I'll pass it off to Tommy.
Just by the skin of my teeth. All right. I'm also going to toast a video game. I just got a small start on Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore. We did the trailer Life or Death for this some time ago. It is the revival, spiritual successor, aping parody, kinda all of the above of the Philips CDI Nintendo games, most prominently the Zelda games. So it copies that gameplay, but I imagine spruces it up to be playable. I have not played Zelda Wand of Gamelon or Link Faces of Evil because, you know, I'm just taking everyone's word for it that it plays like mud and is stupid. But I think we've divulged that folks of this generation, of our generation, were brain poisoned by YouTube poop from a young age. And sometimes we just say dinner at inappropriate times, and it's like the funniest fucking thing in the world. So, I think we've hit the first generation of people of the age to be game developers, to be raised in that background, because Arzette takes that art style and that intent and all of those assets and makes just like a nearly pitch perfect take of a simulacrum of XPs of the characters of CDI Zelda. And they make that I think in maybe the first cutscene, Arzette's father, who is the king, not the king, but the king, kind of has to think, and he puts his hand to his chin, and it is fully the, you know? They're well aware, you know, every time a character laughs, they, like, throw their head back and get that dead-eyed look that the CDI characters get. They did their fucking homework, because I really do feel as though, like, the uncanniness and weirdness of Zelda CDI, you can blame on any one element, but it's really a lot of things that make it so fucking strange and funny. It's the fact that the Zelda CDI characters are so clearly someone's rough idea of what belongs in Zelda, but absolutely doesn't. So the bosses in those games, like, are like a clown pig that would never actually be in a fucking Zelda game, you know what I mean? So the bosses in this are like a dinosaur with suspenders and glasses. Which is exactly the kind of shit they would put in. Man, there's like a parody of Link who is fucking useless and just makes lame jokes the whole time. They kind of play the universe as if Arzette is the only character truly cognizant and like she's kind of the straight man to all the bizarre fucking CDI characters who are just as bananas and like their eyes are getting all big and she's kind of like, what the fuck? And it keeps, you know, the weird morbid humor those games have as well. Like, there's the fact that Philips CDI made Zelda weirdly like bloodthirsty. Someone will die and she'll be like, good. And you kill the first boss by toppling a tree onto him. It's so fucking good. The game is fun, and outside of the pageantry, it calls itself a Metroidvania in marketing. I don't know if that's kind of sort of accurate. It's like a convenient Metroidvania in that you aren't on one huge map. You are constantly exiting to a menu to access different sections of the map with items you bring from the other levels. Which arguably, you know, I could see someone hating that. I kind of like how much guesswork it saves me, because I just have I have a piss poor sense of direction, and I'll be like, fuck, do I go left or right here? I know I've passed this tree a dozen times in any other Metroidvania, so having it just be like, go to the map, pick where you're headed, is honestly pretty great. And it's the kind of thing where it's like, you just play through the levels you have open to you, and you'll inevitably find something you finally have the item for to access. And it's very satisfying to open up and clear out. I'm only a short way into it now, but, you know, this could have easily been like a style over substance thing where outside of some funny cutscenes, there's not much going on, but it's just an extremely solid platformer. I think that, like I said, I've never played the CDI games. I'm just taking folks' word for it that they suck. There's small annoyances that I wonder if they carry over from the CDI games. Like, whenever you kill an enemy, a collectible, like a ruby, will pop out, and sometimes the asset will just fly into, like, the ground beneath you, and you can't grab it. And I feel like that was something that happened in, like, Faces of Evil or whatever. And I wonder if they just kept that annoying thing to be faithful to it. But it's very fun. I don't have, like, a billion updates right now. This is, like, a wealth of funny fucking drawings and weird fucking characters. I kind of wonder how far they take the facade. I think that, it's not like... Again, you can tell they did their homework. It's like, this isn't exactly the drunk guy from Faces of Evil, but they I can tell where they're pulling inspiration. I think it's made for me as someone who has no small part of his brain just, like, utterly invaded by fucking lamp oil ropes bombs.
Yeah, Morshu is eternal.
Will, were you saying something?
In that game is a cameo.
What'd you say?
I said Morshu fucking better be in that game as a cameo somehow.
There is, like, a very clear Morshu XP, but he's got, like, a pompadour.
I see.
It's, the original voices, the CDI voices of Link and Zelda are in the game. I think Link is, like, the tutorial voice, and I haven't come across Zelda yet. But judging by a trailer, she at some point says, "Good."
Zelda isn't Arzette?
I don't think so, but I'll double check.
She sounded like she would be too young to be...
I was gonna say, I don't think that's the case, but I'll peek at that.
I do like the one clip I've seen is Vinny Vinesauce as the frog guy, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I need fine dining.
They get up all close to the camera, too.
God, they perfectly capture just the pacing of when they zoom in and do these awkward little and like... I'm trying to find a voice cast list.
I feel like I definitely want to pick this up on Steam, because it is only like $20. But it's kind of a shame, and I won't like go too into detail. Like I won't probably discuss this in the news segment too much, but the fact that this is published by Limited Run Games is such a goddamn shame. Mm-hmm. I fucking hate those guys right now. Like I have quite a few games from them. Like I have their release of Demo Last Recital on Vita, and I'm pretty proud of that. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they are just like... They're currently like the go-to for lazy publishers who don't want to do actual physical releases. See Hi-Fi Rush, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Fucking sucks. It's really bad.
And like, I love physical copies. I will almost always opt for a physical version over a download. But fuck, I wasn't gonna wait a couple months from this game, and it just seemed like too much baggage, like you were saying.
A couple months? You're giving them too much fucking credit.
Yeah.
Like when I got Shantae Seven Sirens, it took a year and a half after the release date to show up.
Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah, I fucking hate those guys.
Well, you both got the River City Girls limited runs, and I think like I was excited to play it on release date because I didn't have a Switch at the time. And I remember being like, "Well, we're gonna play River City Girls this weekend, right?" And Dav is just like, "Did you get the digital copy, Will?" And Will's like, "No, did you?" And like, it just was not gonna happen.
No, that didn't come till like a year after.
Yeah. So Bonnie Jean Wilbur is the CDI Zelda voice, and she is not Arzette. She plays a character called Brynda, who I don't think I've encountered yet, but I might be mistaken.
It's great that they're in there, though.
It's fucking awesome. If I'm not mistaken, I think some of their line reads are so weird because they just recorded without the full context. Like, they just Sonic Adventure 2'd it and said, "Here's your line." All right, but that's Arzette. I think it's pretty wonderful. It's, just thinking about the hours I devoted. Like, there are so many summers I could have been observing great film or, like, playing sports. And I was just spending hours on end while my mom was at work searching the King's Dinner Blaster or something.
Tommy, you think you like YouTube poops a lot? I think I might have told this on the podcast before, but I was literally ostracized from my friends in middle school for liking them too much.
I just picture Will's mom is dropping Will off for school, and Will's mom is like, now if you keep quoting YouTube poops, they'll eat you for dinner. They'll what? Dinner. All right, Will, time for the final rotation.
All right. So finally, I would like to talk about someone I've been getting to know very recently. Someone who graduated at one of Canada's top business schools with really good grades. And that would be Nathan Fielder. I recently finished up watching Nathan For You, and holy shit. It's incredible. It's fucking hilarious. I don't know how he does it, but, like, somehow he, like, gets people to act the way that, like, a poorly written TV show character would act.
I would say a brilliantly written TV show character.
No, I said a poorly written.
And I would say brilliantly.
Honestly, I mean, I don't know about, like, I still think it's amazing, but, like, some of them very much, like, Nathan will ask them a very, like, stupid question, and then ask them again, and they'll be like, ah, shit, yeah, okay. Which I think works to the show's, benefit. Nathan For You is fucking hilarious.
Unabashedly, I think one of the top 5 funniest shows of all time.
Oh, I would big agree on that. Yeah, he's just like, number one, it's a funny concept, but number two, it's kind of funny how, like, he's clearly creating ideas that are supposed to be bad, and I would say about, like, 75% of the time they actually work, which is insane. The kind of things, the dynamics he has with people, like, kind of playing the character of Nathan Fielder is insane. The fact that he got not one, but 2 people to admit on live TV that they drank piss. It's an incredible show. It is very, very funny. I will be honest, and this is like a very, like, not selfish thing, but like very personal thing. I was let down by the finale just a, like, hair, because...
Will, they found Francis.
No, I agree. They found Francis. But, like, now my last memory of, like, original Nathan For You is just going to be sitting there be like, well, that wasn't fucking funny. That was upsetting. And, which, is the point. But, like...
I would say it's, like, bittersweet. He helps the guy, like, move on. I think it's, like, he's kind of a freak, the guy, but,
Yeah.
It's a good precursor to the rehearsal.
Yeah. She said she swore it on her grave. No, Nathan For You is fucking hilarious. Every episode, I think I could rewatch again and still, like, feel the same way I felt the first time I watched it. I've watched the rebate episode, I think, 3 times now. Dumb Starbucks 3 times. Just like a few episodes, and, like, I think, okay, it's gonna get tired of, like, because a lot of comedies, like, I like funny TV shows, but a lot of them are like, oh, well, you get the joke, and, you know it's coming next time. But, like, with Nathan For You, you never quite prepare for like this like old Armenian guy holding up a picture of his grandson and asking Nathan to drink his pee because it will help when you're scared.
And when
Like, what kind of it's like what kind of fucking world do we live in? It is insane how like, because like at the beginning it like starts off very normal and well not normal but like, you know, Nathan meets like regular people and then they just like slowly start to become stranger and stranger. There's the fucking guy who we never hear about like why or the context, but he's being investigated for arson. Obviously the fucking Bill Gates dude. You know, it's a very funny show, and I think it's like also, it doesn't really have like a mean bone in its body. Like it is, Nathan makes mistakes and he's like mean to the owners, but like, not mean I'd say, but like sometimes he can be blunt. But I never feel like it's like, oh, I feel bad for the ghost realtor. She got taken advantage of. She didn't know like that it was a joke. It's just like, yeah, you know what? Good for the ghost realtor and for the frozen yogurt place that wouldn't smell or wouldn't sell the shit flavored ice cream.
golly, I think my favorite. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to ask what your guys' favorite Nathan for You episodes are.
I'm very attached to the Pink's hot dog one where they get the guy out on a fucking boat. Jonathan.
That is really good.
This isn't a negotiation. You did something wrong, and now you have to take a stick of gum from this ordinary pack of chewing gum.
I think I still like the Asian valet service thing.
Yeah. For a long time, Dev, I didn't know that's what you were referencing.
It is just a completely fucking unhinged episode, start to finish. It's great.
No, I don't know if I can like choose a favorite episode. Yeah, the rebate one is fantastic. The fucking Claw of Shame is incredible. The pet store and the maid service.
I think Dumb Starbucks is arguably like the achievement to the culture of the show.
I prefer that or the go for water, go for water.
Oh man.
Oh god, the hero was fucking insane. But yeah, no, I would say that it's kind of a perfect show, and I wish there was like something to recreate that magic, because like the first step, like we watched the first 2 episodes of the rehearsal. I enjoyed the first one, but for the second one I was like, man, this is not like there's not the magic here, which I thought was like very sad. I don't know if it'll like change later on because like you know a very, I guess, shocking moment from the end.
I'm sorry, are you talking about the rehearsal?
Yeah.
I felt largely the same way, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm gonna give it a chance, you know, watch the whole thing, but like, I really wonder if there will be anything that can like capture the magic of Nathan's Freak ever again.
You know, a shocking moment from the end of the rehearsal? I feel like I don't even really remember how that show ended.
I guess it's not a shocking moment, it's just like a moment that like, I think most people would find like very heartbreaking, but the way Tommy is told it to me is like, I know I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
Oh no, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways, I will pass it over to you, Dan.
Alright. So, at the end of last month and beginning of this month, I had a couple of games coming out that I was very much looking forward to. One of them was kind of disappointing. but the other exceeded all expectations, and so I would like to toast Persona 3 Reload. The game that I have been pining for literally years is finally fucking here, and it feels unreal just how amazing this game is. Because when Persona 3 Portable dropped on PC early last year, I kept thinking to myself, wow, this really does feel like a stripped-down version of FES. There are straight-up conversations missing, there are, like, no cinematics, it's got, I mean, especially that release had, like, some ugly AI art backgrounds. But ultimately, the story and the characters of Persona 3 kind of shine through, because it's just really good. And I've always thought that if they ever remade Persona 3 and made, like, a definitive version of it, and, you know, kind of modernized it, made it more like the gameplay of Persona 5, then it would by far be the best Persona game. And it turns out I was right about that, because this game is awesome. And it may not necessarily be the definitive version of Persona 3, because the female main character is not here, none of her social links are here, and she probably never will be. You know, the modding community seems to be working on that somewhat, but ultimately it's just not going to happen. The answer has pretty much already been confirmed as coming as DLC, so that will be interesting. But, yeah, beyond that, it is not necessarily the definitive Persona 3, but it pretty much is, to be honest. Like, it has everything you would need to experience and more. For one, the kind of, the main character cast, C's, has never really had all social links before, which separates it from Persona 4 and Persona 5, because every member of your party had their own social links and confidants. And as nice as that is to be able to, like, really hang out with your party, I feel like it kind of hurt Persona 5 a bit, because literally half of the confidants in that game are just your party members, and they are arguably the worst ones in the game. But Persona 3 originally only let you have social links with the female party members because you could romance them. And that is still true here, but they introduced something that I think they're just called Hangouts, and they are just like special events with the rest of your party, where you can hang out with them. You get more introspection on their character, you know, extra things to add on to their backstories and stuff, and hang out with them and get to know them. And they still provide benefits in battle. So ultimately, I think this is like the best of both worlds, where you don't take up other social links that could be dedicated to people outside of your party, or just kind of part of the town, while also still letting you get to know these other party members, and still getting the benefits in battle that you would get from, like, Persona 5. So I really hope that this is the format they go with in Persona 6, whenever that comes out, 20 years from now or whatever. Because this is really just the perfect formula, I think, for the day-to-day life, and even beyond that, like, Tartarus is very much improved. It is way less grindy. It is way prettier to look at. Like, the new environments are awesome, and every time you get to a new block, it's just, like, really cool to see how different it is. It's not just, like, a square maze. So I had a lot of fun with it, and I was pretty much max level by the end of the game, despite not really grinding at all. So, frankly, any game that does that is a thumbs up from my adult ass. You know, I get to spend some more time on what I actually want to. And yeah, everything that's great about Persona 3 is still here. The story is amazing. It's still got the best cast of characters in any of the modern Persona games. I'm, just floored by the new cinematics that breathe so much more life into all of this, because, as much as I love FES's cutscenes, some of them have not aged too wonderfully. Mm-hmm. It's very much like a 2006 PS2 anime game. But it's all great here, and aside from the missing definitive content, I was sort of worried going into this about the new English voice cast, because that is kind of the elephant in the room, that they kind of replaced pretty much everybody except for Elizabeth with new voice actors. But honestly, everybody does so well. They fill their roles amazingly. And the original voice cast isn't even all gone. A lot of them have kind of just been cast as supporting characters, like shopkeepers and stuff. So you can still hear them, and they're still great.
That is nice.
So yeah, I always enjoyed. It was kind of funny though, because sometimes you would have Officer Kurosawa, who is the cop, is voiced by the original voice of Akihiko. And he has a lot of scenes where he's talking with Akihiko. So there were just kind of funny moments of Akihiko is speaking to Akihiko. But yeah, just overall, I think I was right. A Persona 3 definitive with these up-to-date graphics and gameplay is honestly the best Persona game. And I hope that they learn a lot from this and carry over a lot into Persona 6, because, I love Persona 5, especially Persona 5 Royal. They really fucking dropped the ball with the story and the cast in that, though, I will fully admit. And I think that Persona 3 should be, the example for how to do that right. And I hope they do that.
It does sound very appealing, especially what you've said about Tartarus, because I'm sure I've gassed on about this before, but that is the one thing about 5, is that the grind could get to be a bit much. So anything that alleviates that, the way you've described, really sounds like my cup of tea.
Yeah, 100%. It's very streamlined.
Nice. I agree. Mitsuru looks neat. You've shown me Ace Detective a lot, and he has kind of a special place in my heart for that. I'll take a dog over some fuck-ass cat for a mascot any day, so that's a plus as well.
Yeah, that is such a plus, because I fucking hate Teddy, and I fucking hate Morgana.
Wait, you've hated Morgana this whole time, too?
Yeah.
Fucking, okay, Will is always giving me shit for hating Morgana, but you're over here.
I gave you shit once.
Oh! I don't know about that.
I mean, I like Morgana more than Teddy, but, it's a very low bar. Teddy hits on a 9-year-old.
I was gonna say, isn't Teddy some kind of pervert?
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I like a good bear. A good bear is easy to win me over with, but that sounds awful.
Yeah, I mean, at least Morgana isn't a pedophile.
Yeah. Well, no, doesn't Morgana like Panther?
Yeah. I don't know, at least she's not 9 years old. That's abominable. I can't believe they left that in.
Yeah, seriously. Good doggo, you just can't go wrong.
Koromaru is honestly so great, and even, he doesn't speak. He does not say anything, but he's still one of the best characters just because of, what he does. He's a great dog.
Good boy.
And he's a great party member. I beat the final boss with him.
We did rate the super, looking at all what are their supers called?
Theurgies.
His were my favorites, but I think a badass howl that caps off any kind of attack is always going to be what wins me over.
No, yeah, Theurgies is another thing I should mention, because the reason that the original leak of this game even being a thing was Yukari's Theurgy, being shown at like a stakeholder conference, and it got leaked.
Oh.
And a lot of people thought it was fake, because this was like a year and a half before the game was actually announced.
Right.
And it turned out to be real.
Ooh. Just keep leaking.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it turned out that Jet Set Radio was also real from that same leak.
Oh. I didn't realize. Okay. Well, do you mind if I take
any input? I was going to ask if Will had any input, because you have played Persona 3 Portable. I think you did beat that.
No, I agree that it is kind of the best story out of the Persona games. I'm gonna be real, Chief. I haven't seen anything like past the trailers for this game. And the super moves. But it looks fucking incredible, and I'm looking forward to giving it a shot for sure. I have been I know they changed like a few things about the story, which I'm interested to see like what. But
it's really nothing major.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, then I'm looking forward to going back to Purse Owner 3.
Yeah, 100%. Highly recommend. And I played the entire thing on Steam Deck. The performance could be better, but I think it's just like a Proton issue. It's still just like a really gorgeous game.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, well, I will pass it back to you, Tommy.
Wonderful. Alrighty. Last top before the news. I got to I had the honor of checking out and subsequently toasting Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. Speaking of wonderful dogs, but he's not a literal dog. He is a gangster. So the Alamo Drafthouse, the movie theater I regular, has been doing a time capsule promotion where a couple months at a time are devoted to older films from a certain year. And January, February was devoted to 1999. So all the big movies and in between from that year. I saw a couple things, but the real big standout was Ghost Dog. It fucking rules. It rips. It's one of my new favorites. This movie is about Forrest Whitaker as Ghost Dog. He is like I said, he is an urban gangster, but he styles his ways on the standards and way of the samurai. So he's reading Hagakure and like old Japanese like military standard and myth. Sorry, one sec. I'm about to burp. Oh, went away. Okay. This episode is still misophonia safe, so we're good. Not like the last one.
Like the banana.
Anyway, time for the news. Okay, so Ghost Dog. So he has very humble means. He sleeps on a rooftop with a pen of pigeons he tends to when he's not shooting people for the mob. He decided he owed his life to a mobster named Louis, who saved him from getting lynched, basically. So he's like, by the code of the samurai, you saved my life, so I defend yours. So he pulls hits for the mob because he owes his life to this, almost cartoonish mobster. Louis is like, nah, see, we need you to take this guy down, Ghost Dog. And Ghost Dog is like, I'll do it. But he, carries himself with all this dignity. He practices on his rooftop with like a knife and a katana, but it's clearly meditative. He has just the pistol, but it makes the coolest sound. It has a little silencer, so it's like a pew, pew. Like the sound design is off the hook. There's just as much as this is Ghost Dog killing people for the mob and it rules, it's him in his old 90s car and just this old 90s radio, and he's vibing in the city, and he's cool as hell. He's one of my new favorite characters in a film, I feel like. What ends up happening is he pulls a job for Louis, as he holds himself to do, and the mobsters associated with Louis say, he's done enough jobs for us that he knows so much, we're going to have to kill him next. So Ghost Dog, Ghost Dog says, I'm not going to hurt Louis. He's like, I'm his retainer. I owe my life to him, but I'm not going to not defend myself. So he's getting rid of every mobster in his way. This movie has some of the most incredible gangster dying sequences I've ever seen. I don't want to begin to spoil them. People who've seen this movie, when I mention the bathroom sink, that's all I have to say. And so it's kind of, his story of the way of the samurai is to devote yourself to people that you feel you owe your life to, but not to just take shit either. So he's killing all of Louis' associates in the same breath that he's so devoted to him. And I just find that to be a really fascinating, complex. He's just this really rich. I think Forrest Whitaker, of course, is amazing, and he brings all this rich life to Ghost Dog. It's some of the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, that does sound very cool. I'm guessing you're probably going to pick that for a movie night?
One of these days, yeah. I think it would pair well with The Killer, David Fincher's The Killer. One of these days.
Yeah, we love the Finch Man.
We like the Finch Man. Man, there's a French ice cream man he's best friends with. It's silly, but it's chill. It's it feels very Keen Essentially 1999. There's a running gag where one of the mobster's daughters is just constantly in a nice car or a nice house and just adjacent to all this, and she's always just fucking watching public domain cartoons. Excuse me, And, this is, 3 years post-Space Jam, and it gives just, that weird energy of those cultures crossing over. It's keenly 1999. It is made on a measly budget of $2 million, and it...
That's how many years of, the caveman was in the ice.
A 2 million year old ice cube. You know what they say to Ghost Dog when he's practicing with his sword?
I'm guessing it has to do something about being thankful that he's in there while they're out here.
I was going to say, Zoinks! It's the gay blade!
Well, there's our title for the episode.
When I said YouTube poops ate a chunk of my brain, I was not kidding. That's
They'll do. They'll turn you into an old boy.
Because you took my breath mints. All right, that's Ghost Dog, Way of the Samurai. High recommend. One of my new favorites. Are we ready for the news?
I think so.
You know what, Tommy?
Yeah.
You should start playing Electric Light Orchestra's Here Is the News. And put that in post every time we do the news.
That's a good idea.
Well, I'm open to that, but would it get copyright claimed?
Not if you just put in either the first sound of it or Jeff Lynne going, "Here is the news."
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could probably get away with that. Just a little radio shock jockey button.
Yeah, I can. Here, I'll send it to you on Discord.
Okay, yeah. It shouldn't be hard. It's a lot easier than, what was it you had me do in episode 2 of this godforsaken podcast, but seek out an extremely specific scream from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and slip it into the podcast.
The Drake and Josh scream?
Yeah.
Yeah, also, that's not an extremely specific scream, because as soon as I finished watching that video, I went to YouTube to find that screen and found it, immediately.
And then you sent it to me, right?
I believe so, but if not, it's not hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember being... I was like, son of a bitch. And then I kind of... Oh, okay, here it is. Marvel has finally... Pigs have flown. Cats and dogs are living together. We know the actors of Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. Vanessa Kirby is Susan Storm. I believe Joseph Quinn is his name, is the Human Torch. Yes, that's his name. And Ebon Boss Bakrak, the guy from The Bear, sorry guy, I think you're cool, is the Thing.
Matt Uncle Ben, because who the fuck are they casting as Doctor Doom?
So far around Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Oh, right. Which seems a little like you're blowing your load a bit to be going right to Galactus, but...
That is absolutely insane. Like, I don't understand if that is truly what they're going with. Why would they just put that here instead of like Galactus should be like a Thanos level villain?
Mm-hmm. I also just kind of have my doubts that they'll capture what a genuinely complex villain Galactus is, in that he's not remotely malicious. He just has to eat planets to keep equilibrium, and we sometimes have to push him someplace else. And I feel like the MCU is going to do something stupid to be topical with him.
Yeah.
But Pedro is Reed, I think is pretty good. And I like the Bear, so Ebon is the Thing, I think is going to work. People are like, oh, I bet it takes place in the 60s because the aesthetic of this picture. I can't help but feel like we're setting ourselves up for disappointment.
I don't think that would make sense in continuity.
Right. Well, do you think maybe they go to, I bet it's some fuckery, like they are in the 60s, they go to space and get their powers, and it's also like a time thing.
I feel like that would be wasting the setting.
But is that not what Marvel does?
Sure. I don't have any faith. I'm sure this movie's not going to be good.
Do we know?
MCU is not. They've been dropping the ball so fucking much lately. I don't have faith in anything that they're announcing.
No, Dab, they haven't even been picking the ball back up.
Yeah.
Do we have a director attached? Let's see. The Fantastic Four. Matt Shakeman. Oh, he did some of WandaVision.
Oh, great. Maybe it is a retro setting then.
I don't know. We had a PlayStation State of Play, and I definitely wrote that down because something happened, but now that I'm looking at it on my iPhone, I'm having a hard time recalling. Let's see, what was in here? Everything revealed in the January State of Play. Dave the Diver x Godzilla. Death Stranding 2, are we up on that?
I think that what they've shown of it looks cool, but like the first game just did not interest me in the slightest bit.
Right.
I have a feeling this one probably won't either.
I'm kind of in the same place. Oh, here's what Will and I got excited about. Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be good. Well, not good, but fun.
PSA, there was a Foam Stars trailer, and that uses AI, so no thank you.
Apparently Judas does too.
Oh, fuck, I thought that looked kind of cool. Shit.
I was kind of sold on when they first revealed it at the Game Awards, and were like, oh, it's like the next BioShock, but no, it's just, it looks worse and worse every time they talk about it.
Damn it. Do you guys get a look at Stellar Blade?
Oh, but I did get a look at the gameplay.
I'm looking forward to that one. It's coming in April, and it feels good that there's like an actual action game that's not like 2 years off. Kind of excited for that.
That one's in some hot water, though, isn't it, for its protagonist?
Yeah. I mean, what else is new? She has her butt out. It is what it is.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. It's not a dignified game like Zenless Zone Zero and its total lack of fan service. Not gonna lie, I kind of have my eye on that one as well, because I just love a quirky action game, but free-to-play makes me a bit nervous. I guess we'll see.
It's Hoyoverse. It's going to be a watered-down version of an action game.
Yeah, but I really like the pink-haired girl. That's the thing.
Is she which one was she? Was she the one who had that really thirst trap trailer?
Yes.
That was going around? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I like her, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't like start a Hoyoverse game and like really go through with it because it never feels like it's really leading to anything for me.
I could see it being a bag of potato chips for me while I wait for something else to come out, but it's weird we don't even have a release date yet. It seems if we've been looking at this game for like a while now, though. I guess we'll.
That's true. I'm sure it's going to be out like relatively soon, though.
Yeah, it's supposed to be sometime this year. All right, there was that. Disney announces their November movie will be Moana 2. Because there was an undetermined Disney film in that November slot for like months. And I feel like it was an energy of, we'll see if you pay to see Wish, and no one really did. So they're like, fuck you, Moana 2 this year, Zootopia 2 next year, Frozen 3 year after that. No more original shit. Fuck you.
Okay, which of those do you think is going to use AI, if not all of them?
Frozen 3, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think Frozen 3 is just going to be original.
The production process of Frozen 2 was, we made a cool-looking test animation of Elsa freezing waves and built a story around that. It is so fucking depressed. It is so fucking depressed. I cannot... Like, I don't want to be this person, but at what point is it going to be like, I can't watch anything if I want to avoid... We need the stamp that I mentioned. The fucking... AI-free stamp of approval. Fuck this.
Honestly, yeah.
Ugh.
That's true. I mean, the idea behind the AI thing that I think was letting people get away with it was there was always the reassurance that as AI gets better at making stuff, AI will also get better at detecting when AI has made stuff. But the problem is nobody's really been training AI to do that, so it's kind of just run away.
I was looking forward to the new Roadhouse movie, but allegedly they used AI voices during the actors' strike, which seems like a very Amazon move. If that turns out to be true, like, fuck, dude. I wanted to see Jake Gyllenhaal kick some Floridians. I guess we'll see.
Need AI to be doing more, like, cool AI shit, like Infinite Craft.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got, for the Super Bowl, we got trailers for, from what I imagine you would all have the least comments on, Twisters, which is the follow-up for Twister, which, fuck you, Doug Walker, is kind of a fun movie.
There's 2 of them now.
Yeah. Twister $. Because you guys have you heard that that's how James Cameron pitched Aliens?
No, that
$.
He brought in a whiteboard, wrote Alien on it, and it was like, okay? And he put a $sign at the end. And they were just like, let's do it.
I mean, at least Aliens turned out to be a great movie.
Yeah. Wicked got its first trailer, which,
Fucking cares.
You forget that you're in the room with kind of musical trash. But even I was never huge into Wicked, to be honest. It looks colorful. I'll probably look at the colors for a while. It's a risky gamble, because the wide opinion of Wicked is the second half is worse than the first, and they're splitting it into 2 whole-ass films. People are like, I love Act 1 of Wicked, and they're like, sorry, Will?
I was gonna say, this is a disaster.
Yeah. And then topping off what I call normie E3, the Super Bowl trailers, is Deadpool and Wolverine. How we feeling? What's our temperature on that?
I think it is either going to be, like, very fun or very, very bad. I know this is an unpopular opinion among the group, but I do like Ryan Reynolds, and I'm a big fan of Hugh Jackman. So I am excited, but, like, I think it all depends on, like, if it's going to be another Multiverse of Madness thing where they get a bunch of talented people working on a project and then studio interference makes it something, like, unrecognizable to those people.
At least it's R-rated still.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good. So, I mean, like, I'm looking forward to it. It seems fun, but I don't want to get Multiverse of Madness again.
I predict a 7 out of 10. It looks like a 7 out of 10 movie. Like, it'll be good, but it's not going to blow me away.
See, I don't hate Ryan Reynolds. I will be there day one for If, but I do kind of hate Deadpool. That said, I am anxious to be next to a big Deadpool fan in the theater for that film. Because, like...
Well, you know what? It should be fucking criminal that is coming out the same year as the next season of Smiling Friends. We are just not going to get any sleep.
Oh, no. I'm Wolverine. I eat the bub. I think I will fly out to California just because I'm not going to see that movie alone, but it will be well worth the price of admission to see. And I'm not saying that as like don't take it the wrong way. I'm not trying to be like, I want to see you. I'm not trying to say that as like a morbid thing. I'm genuinely like, this is a really like weird status quo shakeup, plucking Deadpool seemingly into the MCU. It's unfortunately through the lame-ass Time Bureau stuff from Loki, but I am just genuinely would be really interested to see what you think of it and get your, like, live Will reaction.
Yeah, live slug reaction.
But Tom from Succession is in the Time fucking organization.
Jennifer Gardner is coming back as Elektra. Cricket, cricket,
Yay!
cricket, cricket. Fucking Madam Web core-ass revival. You think they'll just, like, kill her within a minute? I think she'd be down for that.
I think that would be fucking hilarious.
There was a Nintendo partner showcase. New Monkey Ball, baby.
That's right.
New Monkey Ball. There's new Endless Ocean. Fuck.
Epic Mickey's getting a remake?
Yeah, what the hell? Were they...
Excited for Epic Mickey.
Fucking, yeah, I did not see that coming. Especially, like, I figured Disney would be like, we don't want to remind people we did Epic Mickey once.
Well, they did it twice.
Twice, yeah. I didn't remember. Case in point. Was there anything else? Killer Instinct and Battletoads on SNES, fucking finally. Or SNES Online. I like the acknowledgement of rare properties. Let's just get a little closer. Come on. We're almost there. Smaller piece. Sorry.
I was going to say Atlas is pulling an Atlas. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance.
Right. Is 5 the newest one that I've heard a bit about? That's like hard as balls?
I don't know if it's hard as balls, but it is the newest SMT, and I think that general opinion of it is that it's fun, but the story is complete and utter dog shit.
And
they seem to be hinting at, like, trying to fix that with this.
Okay. We'll take those. Smaller piece that looks a little out of place among some of these headlines, but I want to talk about... Mickey 17, the next film by Bong Joon-Ho, has been delayed to January 2025. Which I don't know really what to make of that. It's like, you'd think, fucking Best Picture winner with some of the biggest actors right now. It's got Robert Pattinson, among others. And they're like, just seem anxious to release it. And I wonder, like, what they find so radioactive about it, or why we're in this hell era of shit getting shelved and delayed and having every kind of fucking controversy around it. I don't know. What do you all make of it?
I really don't know. That's a good question.
Time will tell. Go ahead.
I will say, we're living through a very slovenly dumpuary. I think Will told me there was like maybe 1 or 2 films we've rated above a 7 this year so far, but it's dumpuary. I wouldn't mind if studios were like, you get 1 good film in January.
I mean, that would make it fucking tolerable.
Yeah. But like, come on, Bong it's a Bong hit. You're gonna do that in January? Come on.
Yeah, that's a little strange. I mean,
Guess we'll see.
Surely it's not bad, right?
No.
Like,
I don't think that's... Yeah.
Ballerina got delayed, and they were like, fuck, hide it. We were just talking about that, I think, last episode. We're like, what's the deal? Why haven't we seen it yet? And now we know. Okay, Dev, I want to hear your opinion on the Borderlands trailer.
Fucking... What the fuck are they thinking? Like, that is... It's like everything they could have possibly done wrong, they did wrong. Like, okay, for one, why is Tannis there? Like, why is she a part of the group? She has never really been, like, a part of it. She's always been kind of just like an NPC you go talk to. For two, why the fuck did they cast Kevin Hart as Roland?
He's like a big guy, right?
He's a big, buff soldier dude. They cast fucking Kevin Hart.
Who's known for being small.
Lilith is about... I mean, kind of all the characters except Tiny Tina are, like, way older than they should be.
Mm-hmm.
They're all, like, 30 years beyond what they're supposed to be. So, Lilith is, I think... Is that Cate Blanchett?
Cate Blanchett, yeah.
God, it just doesn't work.
Well, and, like, I love Cate Blanchett, but it looks like she's miscast and in the worst wig I've ever seen, perhaps.
Right, exactly. The Psycho and Tiny Tina are both there as well. I mean, I guess I can see why they picked the Psycho, because he's kind of like the mascot of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But, and Tiny Tina's just like a popular character. I guess she looks faithful enough.
Well, what I'm really interested in about Tiny Tina is that they seem to be giving her an arc where she's scared. Because in the trailer, she drinks pee.
Oh, right, yeah. the piss washer thing from the first game. That's
the faithful part.
Yeah.
That's one of the faithful. I mean, to be fair, I feel like some of the environment is, like, faithful enough. I mean, it's ugly, but it somewhat works. And I don't know about Jack Black as Claptrap.
Something about his line reads, he was getting a paycheck for that. Like, he just sounded very... I think it was just, like, the writing was just not Jack Black's brand of humor, being like, adios, bitches! Oh, watch me take a shit! Like, it felt like he did not... He felt uncomfortable with the material. Something about Claptrap was putting me off more than anything else.
A lot of Claptrap humor is like you had to be there when the game came out for it to really hit.
Mm.
But they also didn't... It's another case of, like, why did they have to get a new voice actor?
Yeah.
Just tails
like,
it.
The original Claptrap voice actor is like, perfectly fine. He's recognizable. He's good. And it's a robot. You don't have to recast the robot.
Well, yeah, at least, we had Tails. We had, we should all take more cues from Sonic. Yeah.
Overall, I think that's probably going to be one of the worst movies of the year. Probably not worse than Madam Web, but, like, it's gonna be down there.
It's the director of Green Inferno.
Oh, great! That's fucking awesome. Fucking stop making video game adaptation films. There's no fucking reason.
Keep making Twisted Metal, though. That's a show. That's good.
Sure. Yeah, I guess shows are fine.
And we also had a Pokemon Presents today where we learned about Pokemon Legends, Z and A, Z minus A. Zaza! And Dav, you said you were excited for this, which surprised me, because you're not a Pokemon person.
I am not, but, like... And I usually don't watch Pokemon Presents because I really don't give a shit about most of what they have to talk about, especially if they're going to be talking about, like, Pokemon Unite and all that, like, garbage mobile shit. But yeah, I guess I'm coming from the unique perspective of Pokemon Y was my first Pokemon game, and even though I know that game is mid, I still have, like, fond memories of it. And I also thought it was interesting that it never got, a second version, like pretty much every other Pokemon game. So yeah, and also, like, Pokemon Legends Arceus is, like, that's a game that I own and actually plan on playing because the format of it looks so much better than a typical Pokemon game. So this being both, basically Pokemon Z and being under the Legends umbrella, and it's not coming out until 2025. They're actually giving it time to cook.
They're cooking something. That was a sigh of relief.
Which means two things. It means, number one, that's going to get more development time, and number two, it's almost certainly coming out on the Switch too. Because that has been already leaked that's coming out next March. So, if that's like a launch title for it, I might pick up a Switch too.
Fair enough, yeah.
So you're saying you wouldn't necessarily pick up a Switch 2 in the first place?
Probably not at launch.
Oh. Are you counting on just some, like, crossover, like some PS4, PS5 style simultaneous release?
I don't think so, because Nintendo usually doesn't do that very much.
Right.
Like, there was Breath of the Wild on Wii U and Switch, and then I think after that it was kind of just all Switch.
True, right.
Like, they're pretty good at exclusives. It's just, like, I don't really have a reason to go for, like, a portable console when I have a Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck is almost certainly going to be more powerful than the Switch 2 when that comes out. But, if there's good enough exclusives and they start rolling them out, which Nintendo is apparently the only company that does that anymore, then yeah, I'll get one.
That's fair. Fair enough. And you told me before, Dav, that there was the Nintendo lawsuit.
Yeah, they're suing Yuzu. Just straight up, it's not a cease and desist, they are suing them. It does fucking suck ass, and apparently one of the reasons that they cited was that, because, like, mainly they think that they're trying to put the blame of Switch piracy on Yuzu, which is total bullshit. It's an emulator. Yes, pirated ROMs can be run on emulators, but they can also be run on the original hardware. And Yuzu as an emulator can also just be used to dump the games that you own and the BIOS from the Switch, which is, I guess a problem for Nintendo. But, yeah, it's such bullshit that the main thing that they're pointing to is that when Tears of the Kingdom launched, the game had already leaked a week and a half before that online. And, of course, most people who played the leaked version played it through emulators like Yuzu. And so they said that they were able to track down about 1 million different torrents of the game. So they're basically saying 1 million people pirated the game before it came out, and so we lost 1 million sales, which is complete horse shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, 100% most of those people bought the game.
Yeah.
And just wanted to, like, play it early because it was there.
Like, there had to have been some
apparently
pre-orders in that mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, it's been proven already that piracy does not actually, like, rob developers of sales. It is very, very common for pirates to actually buy the original media that they're pirating.
Mm-hmm.
They're just usually pirating because it's, like, the only way to preserve media. Like, eventually, your Nintendo Switch is not going to work anymore. It's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
It is not going to work someday. And your cartridges could get lost. They could also stop working someday. The only way you're going to be able to play Switch games 100 years from now is if you fucking pirated them, or emulated them, or backed them up onto a hard drive somewhere.
Right.
So this sets like a really terrible precedent, because if they get away with this, a lot of other companies might do this too. And like, that could be so fucking terrible for, like, we could see multiple generations of games just disappear off the face of the earth forever.
Fucking nightmarish. And that's the
Colonel, we are so fucked.
And that's the thing, like, and there's been debate, or not debate, but like, legislature and horse shit about, like, libraries should just, like, have access to video games. Like, it's art, too.
Yeah.
If they have movies, just, like, have emulators legally licensed there. So if I ever get an urge to fucking play, I don't know, Super Double Dragon, and I don't have any convenient way to do so, I can at least support my local library instead of doing something that, narratives like this are pushing back against.
100%, and it's only like the executives who actually have issues with emulation, because number one, they don't understand it, and number two, they think that it's cutting into their money. Mm-hmm. Like, the people who actually create the games actually encourage this shit most of the time.
Well, it's executives.
Like, they love people pirating.
It's executives, and it's 5 panel comic artists.
Oh, right. Yeah. And the multi-billion-dollar company.
Oh, yes.
It's like that gif of, like, Mickey Donald and Goofy eating, like, the livers of bread.
Oh, yeah.
What Nintendo employees when you pirate a game that is not playable on the Switch.
Fuck. Ooh. Well, what a cheery newsreel.
You want to make it even more cheery? You know what Sony announced today?
Like 900 layoffs?
900 fucking layoffs. I mean, you can figure out why. Goddamn, look at the only exclusive game that came out last year on the PS5 was Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing else. And they outright said that they don't have any more exclusives coming until next year.
Jesus. Well, and along with those layoffs, it canceled the live service Twisted Metal game, which would have alleviated the issue of exclusives.
Well, that's the thing, is like, Sony and even Microsoft to an extent have decided to make, like, they want to dump all their resources into either live service games or like AAA, quadruple A, massive story-based, super expensive games. Like, did you hear what the profits on the first Spider-Man game were?
No.
It was like $600.
What?
That game sold millions of units. It was one of the best-selling PlayStation 4 games, but because of how expensive it was, they only netted a profit of about $600.
This isn't work. My glasses are off. Dav.
It's their fault. They fucking killed off Japan's studio. They can't make AA games like Gravity Rush anymore because they fucking closed out the studios that make those.
Streaming isn't working. AAA games aren't working. None of this makes any fucking sense.
Nintendo's the only one doing it right. They don't have mass layoffs as much. I mean, they have some, but like nowhere near as much as all these other companies because they make games that are actually profitable.
They throw us a Princess Peach Showtime now and then. So they don't take a bath on every hair follicle on Rhino's ass or whatever.
I mean, Suicide Squad is also going to have to expose something. You've seen it.
Yeah, no, I think we really might be like approaching a crash.
100%.
There was that Warner financial call where they just very ominously say, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has fallen short of our expectations, and I just know some, like, Zaslav had, like, a Dr. Evil button where, like, someone got dumped into lava or something. Oh.
No, these companies deserve it. I mean, along with that and the overhiring because they thought the COVID boom was going to continue forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they deserve it.
Yeah.
Man, let's hope there's some good news next month. There will be a new Furiosa trailer that makes it look really good, and Betty White will come back to life. And
well, I hope all these people who are getting laid off will like form their own studios.
Oh,
and
yeah.
give rise to like a indie and like single A, double A renaissance because that's what we really need.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, let's find some more good shit for our Steam decks.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Stay happy despite it all. That was fucked up of me to say. I don't know what I'm saying. That was just the whammy of AI talk on top of layoff talk on top of art preservation talk has just like defeated me. I could use a snack. Maybe almonds off mic. And I'm Tommy.
I hear some pistachios calling my name, and I'm Will.
Insulin. I'm Dev.
Good night, everybody.